I wanted to wait to see if the Raptors were done or if they were going to continue to make signings yesterday as they locked up two players. DeAndre Bembry, who used to play for the Atlanta Hawks on a 2-year contract at $4 million, so obviously a $2 million average annual value over those 2 years, and forward Alex Len on a 1-year deal worth $2.32 million. Now, what do these two signings mean? Who are they and what are they going to bring to the team? Let's start with Bembry. First off, from what I've seen from him, I don't know a whole lot about Bembry, but when I watched the highlights of him, I see energy, and he reminds me a lot of a Hollis-Jefferson in the sense that he's explosive when he gets the ball, and he's just an all-over-the-place type of player. That can be good, that can be bad. We saw that a lot with Hollis-Jefferson last year. He's very all over the place, which can be good, but it can also be very sloppy. So for Bembry, it's going to be interesting to see how he does with the Toronto Raptors this upcoming year. Obviously, it's obviously a 2-year deal, so that's good for him. But because it's some, it's obviously some security for him moving forward. But I'm just going to try and pick up the stats here for you guys and kind of get an idea of what he's all about. Obviously, he's 26 years of age now. Last year in his age 25 season, he only averaged 5 a game, right? His career high is 8.4 a game. Again, like a Hollis-Jefferson type feel. He's not going to give you anything too crazy. But again, those are in very limited minutes, right? So it's only 21 minutes a game. You're only averaging 5 points a night. He's not the greatest player out there. But again, that's why you signed him on a $2 million deal, right? It's nothing crazy. But again, it's bench depth. He's going to give you energy. And, it's not going to hurt your team for the most part. Alex Len is an interesting one. 27-year-old, big center, and obviously stacking up that center position with obviously acquiring Aaron Baines, re-signing Chris Boucher, and then you bring in Alex Len, who last year averaged 8 points a night and 5.8 boards a game. Obviously not as good, but reminds me of a Jonas Valanciunas in a sense. That big guy who just plays in the interior, grabs rebounds, lots of putbacks, and that's really where he's going to live. How much runway is he going to get with this team? I think with the Aaron Baines signing and the Chris Boucher signing, you probably won't see too much of Aaron Baines. Kind of what you saw of Boucher last year is probably what you're going to get of Aaron Baines. If an injury happens, you'll see Alex Len as the backup center, and so on and so forth. You kind of get the idea there. The Raptors really moved quickly, though. Right after losing Serge Ibaka and Marc Gasol, who ended up going to the Lakers after we all thought he was going back to Spain. After losing those two guys, the Raptors needed to act quick. We all knew that was going to happen. We all knew once the Serge Ibaka thing fell through and Gasol wasn't coming back more or less. I think there was talks about him getting a small deal to come here, but that clearly wasn't even a thing that was going to happen. So after we knew those guys were not coming, you knew Masai Ujiri had to jump on the free agent horse and find a way to get some guys to impact the team. Kind of what happened last year when you lost, last offseason when you lost Kawhi Leonard. And you needed to act quick. And they got a Hollis-Jefferson, they got a Stanley Johnson, obviously guys that aren't even close to the caliber of Kawhi Leonard. But after you lose Ibaka, after you lose Gasol, they had to go out there and get big and get some bigs because we couldn't just rely on Chris Boucher and DeJuan Hernandez the rest of the way. You knew that wasn't going to happen. So they bring in Aaron Baines, they re-sign Boucher, and they bring in Alex Len. Again, 3 guys that aren't spectacular. They're not top-notch names. They're not big-name free agents. But they're guys that are going to come in here and impact this team. Look, Aaron Baines ain't no scrub. I know people talk about him, but he's an older guy. He's only averaged 11 points a game last year, so everyone's thinking, wow, well, Serge averaged this much. And look, you're not getting Serge Ibaka. It's already done. It's a done deal. With Aaron Baines, he can knock down the 3. He made 9 threes in a game last year. That's pretty incredible. We know Boucher. We all know about him. I don't need to say anything about that. With a guy like Alex Len, again, he's played with 3 teams over his career, the Phoenix Suns, Atlanta Hawks, and Sacramento Kings over his 7-year career, so he's been around. But last year he averaged 8 points a night, 5.8 boards, and he split time between the Hawks and Kings. So the Kings acquired him at the trade deadline, kind of going for that little playoff push. Sorry, guys. And a guy like DeAndre Bembry is going to be interesting because I think he's a guy, Raptor fans, obviously we're playing in Tampa, right? We're not playing in Toronto, but Raptor fans love guys who play with energy. We loved Hollis-Jefferson, right? We loved that type of player. Even though he's not going to put up crazy numbers, he's going to give you tons of energy. Bembry will do that, right? You didn't pay him much, so he's not going to give you astronomical numbers. but he's going to impact your team a little bit here and there. Again, it all depends on how things work, right? If he shows up to camp, shows lackluster effort, and doesn't put in the work, you won't see him. He'll be a Stanley Johnson of last year. But if he puts in the work like Rondae Hollis-Jefferson did, because those were the two signings we had last year, and ideally we could all say that, maybe Stanley Johnson kind of had that upper hand, right? The higher draft pick, the name, he's been around a little bit. Rondae Hollis-Jefferson's like, well, okay. But Hollis-Jefferson was the better player all year round because he showed the effort. He put in the work. You saw Stanley Johnson in the last 2 regular season games put in that work. So for a guy like Bembry, and even a guy like Alex Len, you show up to camp, you put in the work, you put in the effort, more or less in the defensive end, because that's what the Raptors really just pride themselves in, the defense. You do that, you'll get playing time. Nick Nurse will make that happen. And look, I don't know what to expect from these guys, if anything. But I would not be shocked if the Raptors are done with free agent signings. I hate to say that, Raptor fans, because the roster, again, it's a very interesting roster this season. A lot of young faces we're all hoping to take that next step, right? And the question is, will they? And that's the big thing. We don't know what this team's going to look like. Obviously, December 22nd is the first game of the year. We don't know what this team's going to look like come February. We have no... And if anybody's saying not a playoff team, you're a joke. Sorry, you're a joke. Is the East getting a little bit better? Yeah. Is this Raptor team a 500 ball club? Yeah, they are. Well, there you go. That's a playoff team in the Eastern Conference. Plain and simple. So there's no question a playoff team is this Raptor squad. Yeah, you lost Ibaka. Yeah, you lost Gasol, the veteran presence that you won an NBA championship with. But you got to turn over that new leaf. Now, do I personally believe that Masai Ujiri is just patching things for next year's free agent class? Yeah, I think so. But the question we don't know for sure if guys are even going to come to Toronto. We can make all the assumptions. Oh, Giannis is coming here, right? And we hear that a lot from Raptor fans, including myself at times. But we don't know for sure if he even is coming here. We don't know if, I haven't even looked at next year's free agent class. You could say, oh, this guy might come here. Well, might. We have no idea. So I don't really know how Masai Ujiri is trying to work this. I trust the guy with everything basketball ops-wise. I mean, look, everyone can get mad at him for signings and not signing this guy and blah, 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 blah. There's a plan in place. Masai and Bobby Webster and the coaching staff and the management team, they have a plan. They won an NBA championship. They've built this franchise. I trust them with this. Okay? So as much as people like, Alex Len, really? Bembry, really? Trust the process, as Joel Embiid would say, but their process didn't really work. So, and this one for the Raptors, it has. So I trust Masai and what he is doing with this team. And do I like the signing of Alex Len? Yeah, it gives you that kind of defense. Like, look, Alex Len, I don't know actually how big the guy is. I think is he a 7-footer? He's a 7-footer. He's 250 pounds. He's a big presence on the inside. So that's great. That's something that Raptors didn't have last year. They didn't have that 7-foot presence on the inside. Now, does it really mean a whole lot? I don't know. Maybe in certain situations it might. Right? So there's all... If a team's trying to play big against you, if you're going up against a guy like Jonas Valanciunas, give a guy like Alex Len the opportunity or something like that. I don't know how it's all going to work out, but he'll find a way to get some playing time, and he'll find a way to get him in the rotation at some point in time. I didn't realize Alex Len was a first-round pick back in 2015 or 2013. He was the 5th overall pick by the Phoenix Suns. So a lot of high hopes for him and guys like Stanley Johnson, but clearly they have not panned out. 7-year career for Alex Len. He only averaged 8 points a night last year. So very interesting, and maybe he can break out here in Toronto. Who knows? We've seen it time and time again with the Toronto Raptors. All right, so guys, I'm going to leave it there. All right, so if you enjoyed the video and you like or you're intrigued with the 2 signings for the Toronto Raptors, smack that like button. Do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below your thoughts on the video. Your thoughts on the 2 signings. Do they mean anything to you even? Let me know, guys, in the comments below. Go crazy. Twitter is down below for myself. Follow up, send me a DM, do all that great stuff. Also, the Instagram page is down in the description, so follow up there if you've not done so already. And I will talk to you guys, Raptors. Look, it would not surprise me if Masai Ujiri is done. But it also wouldn't surprise me if he's not done, because they've kind of loaded up at the center position, which they lost, and they really didn't lose anywhere else. So it would not surprise me if they're done. But knowing Masai and knowing the way he likes to wheel and deal some things, would not surprise me if he goes the other way as well. So I will talk to you guys next time, Raptors Edition. Next time they do something. If it's of magnitude, it'll be one video. But if it's a small thing, well, considering the free agent frenzy is really done, I might do one anyways for you guys, all right? But all we know for a fact is that the season starts December 22nd, less than a month away, Raptor fans. Obviously, it's going to come at us quick because training camp, I think, is December 1st. I don't know what's going on with me. The sniffles are going on right now. I don't know what's going on. I haven't had them all morning, all afternoon, and here they are. We're going to do a video. It seems to happen all the time. I don't know what the heck's going on. But I will talk to you guys Raptors Edition at some point in time when they decide to make a move or talking season. We'll talk to you guys. It's going to be very soon. So that's the part I can't wait for, guys. Sports is back, at least basketball. We don't know anything about hockey, and that could be in jeopardy. But baseball, the free agent rumors are whirling around. We heard the Jays offered Kevin Gausman a 3-year deal, so it could be some crazy stuff happening soon for the Blue Jays. But I'll talk to you guys whenever news breaks for any team. All right, so thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Talk to you guys then.